Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're carrying on the series. Last week the feedback was absolutely brilliant. People really enjoyed the first edition of my Scottish Premiership match day predictions. It's a way to get everybody involved. It's not just Celtic fans. Everybody can come and watch this, hear their input, or give their input and hear my input on their teams in the comments section, whatever you like. It's great, it's fun, and it gives a wee bit of expansion to the channel to open up for new subscribers, new likes, whatever. So part 2 today, we're going to be talking about Premiership match day 10. Yes, we've made it to number 10 for some teams. Some teams are still behind because of random holidays to Spain, but it's fine. We're going to keep going anyway and talk just as quickly and as fluently as we did last week. Of course, if you are new to the channel and you're watching this because you're a fan of another team, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It is much appreciated, and going forward, big plans. Hopefully we talk about more teams soon. But what's going to happen this week in the Premiership? Friday night games, of course. Steve Clark wanted this to happen because of the Scotland games that are coming up against Israel. We've got 4 games tomorrow night at 7:45, and then we've got games on Sunday for Celtic and Rangers because the Europa League is this evening. So, very exciting. Let's get right into it. Before we go on to the predictions as well, very quickly, here is the results from last week. My predictions lined up on screen with the predictions, the final scores of the games at the weekend. I done quite well. I wasn't too far off of a lot of the games. I didn't predict any draws last week. I noticed that after I filmed, which was pretty weird. Also, moving forward, if you want me to get other YouTubers involved with this series, let me know if you think that'll be a good idea to get their predictions, and I can compete with people each week to see who gets points. But, I mean, that's down to you guys. Right then, let's start off with Aberdeen and St Mirren, both teams off the back of 2 different results at the weekend. St Mirren are in a horrible state. They have hit rock bottom, quite literally. They are at the bottom of the table now after a really bad run of form. I think that's 5 losses on the bounce now. They can't get it done right, and a lot of people are criticising Jim Goodwin's tactical inability at the moment. You know, he's got people like Obika playing off the left-hand side when he should be a striker. He should be playing up front trying to get the goals. Aberdeen, on the other hand, they are flying. Derek McInnes has got them playing really well, and a 3-0 win against Ross County at the weekend there means that they'll go into this game quite firmly the favourites, and I don't see any way for St Mirren to get points from this game. It is at Pittodrie. Lewis Ferguson off the back of 2 penalty goals, and Johnny Hayes had a really good performance through the weekend with an assist of Aberdeen's first goal. So they're flying. St Mirren are having an absolute howler. There's only one way this can go for me at the weekend, and that is Aberdeen to absolutely trounce them. Aberdeen for me are going to take the game quite easily. I'm going to see another big scoreline. I think it could be another 3-0. And I mean, it's just a disaster for St Mirren at the minute. The second game to talk about is Dundee United taking on Livingston at Tannadice this weekend, on Friday night. Livingston off the back of a big result. We spoke last week in the predictions video of how Livingston were dying for a win. Gary Holt had to get 3 points. They were rock bottom of the table. They weren't looking that good. They looked as though they were just going to kind of peter around that sort of area all season. They've made an addition now. They've got a striker in, Jet, up front. Big Emmanuel Thomas signing. I think that's a really good signing for Livingston. I think he'll do well, and they needed a striker, so maybe he'll be used for the first time tomorrow night. But the story of this game is, can Shankland keep it up? We were talking about it last week, how he came back and scored a goal. He scored again in the 1-1 draw with Hamilton. 2 goals in 2 games since returning. Will that form continue? That is the man that Livingston have to try and keep out of the game as much as possible. For me, Dundee United being back at home means they will win the game. Livingston, yes, are off the back of a win, did look impressive, they controlled the game, but I think that Dundee United will just have a bit too much for being up at Tannadice. I do think it'll be closer than Aberdeen and St Mirren, right enough. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Mickey Mellon's side. Hibs against Hamilton, Hibs haven't lost to Hamilton in their last 7 meetings, and this is at Easter Road. For me, it's quite simple. Hibs will take a big win in this game. Of course, Brian Rice, big chipper, got a point at the weekend against Dundee United, which was vital to try and keep a bit of momentum in the camp, but Hibs at the moment need to fight back after a loss to Celtic. Of course, Hibs have started this season so well. They've been so good from kind of up until this point, but the game against Celtic probably wasn't what Jack Ross would have expected. They were lifeless in the game. They didn't pose much of a threat to us at Celtic Park, so they'll want to come back from that and put 3 points onto the league table before we head into this international break, and what better opportunity to do it against Hamilton, a team who are down the bottom end, who should ideally offer them a good chance of winning. Hibs have the quality to do it. Kevin Nisbet, I believe, will step up, have another good game. He'll be wanting to show Stevie Clark why he should be in that Scotland squad. For me, it's easy. Hibs go and win this weekend. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Hibs win. I could see Nisbet getting a goal to make up for the disappointment at Celtic Park. And finally, the last game of the Friday night football spectacular tomorrow is at Rugby Park for Kilmarnock against Motherwell. Kilmarnock, they have turned a corner this season. They started off quite poorly, they didn't look great, but now 3 wins in their last 4 games means Alec Dyer's team are flying. A win at the weekend, of course, that 1-0 win. Kabamba getting the goal. Let's talk about Kabamba for a minute. A man who was signed by Alex Dyer to come in. They got him from Hartlepool United, or Hartlepool Town, whatever they're called, who are a team who are not even in the leagues of the professional leagues in England. Who would have thought that a signing like that, coming in from Hartlepool, to come and play for Kilmarnock would be as good as he's been? He's been brilliant since signing for Kilmarnock, and he's been, apart from maybe Chris Buck, their standout player, his form is great at the minute. A goal at the weekend. Motherwell, their season's just been so up and down, up and down. You don't know where it's going to go next. I think this game is going to be tightly contested. Motherwell are in a desperate need to put wins on the board. A loss to Rangers, an absolute trouncing, 5-1 to Rangers. They need to do something, they need to sharpen up. They just look down and out. I know they got that massive win against Aberdeen. You thought that would have been the point to turn the corner, and yes, you can't look into a loss against Rangers too heavily, considering the form Rangers are in, but you expect them to be playing better than they are. Motherwell, there was no contest at all at the weekend. So for me, Kilmarnock and Motherwell is a very interesting tie, because Robinson needs to do something, and here we go. My first draw of the series, I'm going to go for a 0-0. I think it's going to be goalless at Rugby Park. I think Kilmarnock are, of course, a better defensive outfit than Motherwell. They'll be trying to keep Motherwell out, and a lot of people might be thinking to themselves, there's no chance Motherwell aren't going to go there and not score, but I don't know, something about the game just tell me it's going to be a 0-0 draw. I think that'd be a positive result for Kilmarnock, despite the form that Motherwell are in, because Motherwell have the capability to go there and score goals. They've got the players on their side to do so. You've got Tony Watt in there who's got a couple of goals recently, another couple of good strikers. I think that this is a game that Kilmarnock would probably benefit from taking a point. And finally, on to these Sunday games, and interestingly, the title of this video has already told you all. This is the last Premiership match day before the Old Firm. After this, we go into international break, then we're back Saturday morning, 17th of October. It is the derby, the Glasgow derby, a massive, massive game. It could potentially set the tone for the season. So Celtic and Rangers both playing on Sunday this week. Let's go and see what I'm thinking for them. Rangers against Ross County at Ibrox then, a game which really can only go one direction, let's be honest. As much as I would like to sit here and say Ross County could make it difficult and take something from the game, let's just cut to the chase. It's not going to happen. Rangers are on remarkable form at the minute. A 5-1 win against Motherwell, a big game against Galatasaray tonight too, which I imagine they will win. They could go into this game with sky high confidence, and they're sitting in a position now where they could potentially be going into the derby match as the bookies' favourite, because they've been playing really well and Celtic have been a bit more dodgy. Nonetheless, I think Rangers will win easily. They're scoring goals. They're scoring many goals, 5 against Motherwell in fact. Kent's on top form. Even me, Jordan Jones was getting a look in. That was the story for me. Jordan Jones, will he get back-to-back starts after staying out that Rangers starting lineup for almost a whole year, or maybe even over a year? He got a start finally and he took his chance with a wonderful wee finish. Will he start again? God knows. Rangers, I'm going to say a 4-0 win. Ross County, yes, they've been okay this season, but I don't see any way they can go to Ibrox and get anything. Oh! And finally, the 12 o'clock kick-off on the Sunday, St Johnstone Celtic. If you want to hear my in-depth preview and predictions, make sure to check out the match preview that will be live on Saturday, I imagine, or it will be tomorrow or Saturday. Keep an eye out on the channel, that would be great if you can get along there. Simply put, Celtic should be winning the game. We never really struggled when we got up to Perth a couple of occasions towards the end of last season. We had the Scottish Cup tie up there, we had a league tie as well. One of the games, if you remember rightly, we went up and we absolutely battered them within the first 15 minutes. We got 3 goals, we had the game won. A performance like that again, please, Celtic should be winning. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Celtic win. Follow up on the performance that we gave against Hibs, and we should get through this no bother. Callum Davidson's side haven't exactly been great this year. I think he's still trying to figure out his best team and his best system. It's a big change at St Johnstone, of course, this season, and Celtic will be coming up against something different from what they usually have when Tommy Wright was in charge. So it'll be interesting, but Celtic should be taking the game very easily. So that does it. That's my predictions for match week 10 in the Scottish Premiership. If you have enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let's see if we can do it again, another good solid week with the results. Until next time.